Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. I'm nice and dry here in the comfort of my own home.
I know that's right. There will be no delays with this show, even though we are as fast as lightning sometimes. We have more tailgate tips for you tonight. We're going to tell you what you need to hear about Clemson and also about the rest of college football, including some other fans. There may or may not be a little rant at the end of this show, Bailey. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of Greenville Sports Media Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, Greenville Sports Media is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts, the latest articles, and other sports media at greenvillesportsmedia.com. We can also be found on all forms of social media, just like the Fun Fans. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
Yeah, and the official place to get the best wings around, Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering has two locations in the upstate of South Carolina, 1083 Batesville Road in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. Their website is reubensc.com. Reuben's is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans. Do we know why there's a C on there? On their website?
We do not.
Well, that's their website, everybody. Reuben's and then the letter C.
The letter C.
Check them out.
Yep. So it's a very good question, Bailey. But speaking of, we were not kidding when I say we, my family and I, the folks that were with me, we're not kidding when we talked about, we make use of the delay to go get some Reubens. So we had Reubens last night here at the house, courtesy of Grayson and Jillian went and picked it up for us. So, but first, the important stuff. Did we have a great time at the tailgate yesterday, or what, Bailey?
Yeah, we always. I mean, that's why we go.
That's why we go,
and that's why we. It's friends hanging out, little music, little television, little sweating,
just a little
sweating.
That's what.
And a little
that's
rain.
what we do. That's what it's all about. So if I can get this phone to quit vibrating, that'd be nice. But anyway, all right. We have lots of pictures. So if you're doing the audio only, you might be missing out on some of these pictures. So you got to come and check this out. We're going to talk through the fun we had at the tailgate. All right. So first of all, it was Jalen and Amogue's first game. They stayed back with the wife at the lake house week one. So that was their first tailgate. Amogue is officially doctoral eligible student or whatever they call it. He passed some test and something. So good job for there. So he's a Clemson student. And
hey, let me cut you off real quick.
All right.
Your wife says it's Reuben SC, but the name of the place is Reuben's.
So maybe it was like Reuben South.
They're just combining the two.
Maybe.
Thank you, Melanie.
Yes.
For helping us out with that.
Shout out.
We always like it when we have live viewers.
Yeah, that's all. That always helps. So let's see some other pictures. First of all, so there's kind of a little bit of a view. We were set up. We did the double tent action. We'll talk about that with our tips here in a minute. What do we notice that's not in these pictures, Bailey?
Porta Johns.
Porta Johns. So we avoided the Porta Johns. Yeah, we did away with that, the stench of the Porta Johns that we dealt with last week. So there's some pictures of the tailgate, and it was hot. It was hot, and I had a picture of the truck here a second ago. It was interesting. One thing that happened: the truck left the parking lot like 3 times.
Yeah,
that was not a lot. Usually, not a lot of coming and going once you get parked, but yesterday was a little bit of an exception. Sometimes when you're there, you just got things to do.
Yeah, I mean, we needed some transportation, and we were gonna hire a golf cart, but the truck was there.
The truck was there, and it did the job. It was extremely hot, but kind of thankfully it rained eventually. So there's me saving the TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, James is an umbrella guy.
Yeah, I'm sucker for a good. I mean, why not have an umbrella?
Right.
You're just preparing to mess up some stuff if you don't have a good umbrella handy. All right, so we saved the TV. So speaking of some tailgating tips, since we are basically professionals, some things we've added to the tailgate. So we took away the porta johns, but there's some things that are very positive that we added. We added Starlink this season. So I'm not going to be a Starlink salesman, but let's just say that is what is streaming our TV. And it allows us to, if you go to Clemson games, you know how basically you lose your phone signal once a bunch of folks get on campus, and that does not happen at the Fun Fans tailgate anymore. We have high-speed Wi-Fi while we wait on the game to start. But there is some setup involved with the Starlink and Bailey.
Yeah, this is funniest. It's one of the funniest things every week is watching James try to find the proper location.
So part of the setup is the app on your phone tells you to scan the sky. You have to scan the entire sky. Now, and I will say, obviously, I'm on a hill. I'm looking straight up. I've had back surgery where my balance isn't the best in the world. It ain't like it was back when I was a 2.5 star athlete back in the day. But it is funny.
2.5.
So Bailey caught 13 seconds of video. The problem is, so last week it went faster for some reason. I think I figured it out. I think I got lucky last week, but it actually went on for a few minutes yesterday, didn't it, Bailey?
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't know if I had enough storage to film it all.
For more. So there, I was up there doing pirouettes and circlettes and trying not to fall down that hill for a good minute or two, but we got it hooked up and got it going on. The second tip, so people have those, and people do it. They're doing something maybe different than what we're doing. They're got those gas powered generators.
Yeah,
man, we got us one of those. It's kind of small and it's just a battery, but it comes with a solar panel that keeps it going. And that thing was the trick yesterday.
Yeah, see, we've gone green,
Yes,
basically because the speakers that we use are solar powered.
There you go.
Now our power is powered by the sun.
There you go. So there you go. Go green and go Tigers. All right. So you saw the 2 tents. So our tip is, if you're going to have a TV, you about got to have 2 tents. So you need the shade to, so you don't have the glare off the TV, and you got to have room for people to sit. Sometimes one tent's enough in the shade. Yeah. So the 2 tents pretty much a requirement with the TV. And then one other thing we learned yesterday is slightly damp Oreos, wet from the rain, are still good. So
I didn't try any of those.
Didn't well, trust me.
Well, we were able to. It poured.
Yes.
For a few minutes there. Poured.
Yes. We have proof. That's why I have an umbrella.
Right.
So we need there. Look, you can see the rain.
Yes. If you can see the rain, that's intense.
Yeah. All right. So that was the tailgate. That was the fun. Then we went into the game. So let's talk a little bit about the game, Bailey. So, just real quick, personally, we were already planning on not staying the whole game. We had plans to go out of town again today. And so we were, as a family, we're ready to get on home and get some rest and get some things together. So I'm just going to be honest. When that lightning delay hit, the Dillards had to dip. It was time to get on. So, but not because we were just leaving or whatever, but it's because we kind of had some things to go and get ready to do. And you just never can tell how long those lightning delays last. And actually, it worked out. I'm going to say it worked out well, worked out in a kind of in a good way. Ended up having to take my wife to the emergency room last night. So I missed the whole second quarter. Couldn't even watch it on my phone. Second half. Couldn't even watch it on my phone, but I wasn't worried about it because that's when you learn there's things more important than football. Most people know she's been doing chemo and she's fine. She got diagnosed with COVID of all things, but a chemo patient has a little bit of a fever, they don't play around. They they had to go get her checked out. So kind of Lord working in mysterious ways for me personally with the lightning delay and heading home. But I did watch the game later today. But I'm gonna turn the game stuff over to Bailey for the most part since I didn't really watch it.
Well, I mean, the main thing is, one, we don't know. We kind of do this every year, right? We say, "Oh, what's wrong with Clemson? What's wrong with Clemson? What's wrong?" Look, and I've said on here 1,000 times, if you've coached, you know that your team should not be peaking at the beginning of the season. They should be getting better every week, and Clemson has done that for the most part the last couple of years. Even though we're just spoiled rotten fans. We're going to be ranked in the top 10 preseason, top 5, whatever. We got all these experts out there telling us how good we're going to be. And we played a team yesterday that in 2016, we beat 30-24 at home in a game very similar to the one yesterday. All right. So we don't know how good Troy is, but we know they have transfers from every SEC school. And every time somebody made a play, he'd say, "Oh, first year with Troy, transferred from the University of Tennessee, transferred from Florida State, whatever."
Yeah.
So those guys can play too, and they had absolutely nothing to lose. So, yeah, you come out a little flat, and all of a sudden you're down. You get a ball tipped, kind of a freaky little interception for a touchdown, and then it's 16-3.
Right.
And the second half, I thought the defense said, "You know what? You're not going to score. Okay. So you better hope we don't score because you're not scoring." Had a couple takeaways, couple interceptions. And then the offense just said, "We're going to run it down your throat. We're going to throw, passes to our receivers who are going to catch them. And if you blitz, we're going to beat you over the top on a perfect throw." So yeah, that was what I expected, but teams they're kids. Like, they're really just big kids. So you can tell them, hey, and it's a little bit of a letdown after last weekend,
Right.
And then you have this funky delay for an hour and 36 minutes after playing 4 minutes and you're down 7-0. So it's just
weird.
And
two, you don't want to get in that situation, but kind of like what Dabo said at the end of the game, it does show resilience of the players. I want to say it's easier to go out there and just beat some team that you're supposed to beat. Definitely easier than going out there and having, giving up a touchdown and then having another fluke touchdown and then not playing, not scoring, maybe getting down and then turn around and coming back. If you look at not just the second half, in my opinion, I did go back and watch the game, but the second 2.5 quarters, I mean, it was total domination by Clemson other than the first, quarter and a half of the game. But speaking of what Dabo said after the game, did you hear? I saw this and I could not believe it was not all over all social media. Did you hear what he said about Murphy?
Yeah. Because didn't Cade say something? "Oh, Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it's going to go wrong."
Yes.
Whatever. He's like, the heck with Murphy.
He said, Dabo said, "Screw Murphy.
Yep.
We're going to take it right to Murphy."
Yep.
So it would not surprise me if there aren't T-shirts that say "Screw Murphy, go Tigers."
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea, and we should put Fun Fans on the back. But if anybody wants to put together, it's got to be coming. It's got to be. But you know what? Besides, if you're worried about Murphy's Law, you might need some energy. Go to w.gg, enter promo code FUNFANS for 10% off of your Jitterless energy drink. Now, the reality is, and this is not because of how Clemson has played the past 2 weeks. This question is because of how other teams have played. Bailey pointed out the preseason was, nobody, who was going to play Clemson, who was going to get beat by Clemson in the ACC championship was the thought process. But now the question is Clemson still the team to beat in the ACC? And it really has got nothing to do with Clemson playing poorly. It's got to do with how well FSU, Miami, I will still say SMU, I guess, even though they lost in double overtime to Baylor yesterday. Is Clemson still the team to beat in the ACC, Coach Jackson?
Honest to goodness, I think this is exactly what Dabo loves. He loves playing the underdog. He loves, like last year. Yeah, we kind of backdoored into the playoffs, but you know what? We had to beat SMU,
Right.
and Miami had to lose. And guess what?
They did.
That's what happened. So I think Miami's very good. I think Florida State's very good. I still think SMU's good. Louisville's good. Georgia Tech's good. There are some really good ACC teams.
Yeah.
And what you see is that this portal thing allows people to go out and just get a brand new team.
Yep.
And I don't like it, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah, I still think Clemson is one of the teams to beat. Whatever you want to say it don't matter, because I think it makes it way more interesting. And not to get into the conference versus conference, but it does help if the country, the pollsters, the committee, when it comes time to it, when it comes down to it, that they know that there are really good teams in your conference that when you finish first, second, third, whatever.
Right.
So I think it's extremely beneficial to whoever wins the ACC for FSU, Miami, SMU, Clemson to all be fighting to get into the championship game. And like Bailey said, Georgia Tech is no pushover. There's teams in other conferences that yes, would they come and compete in the ACC? Not saying ACC is the best conference in the country all of a sudden. But there's some legit
the top teams are pretty good.
Yes.
Like
the top, and it's not just one or two.
Some of the top teams in the country right now.
Right. It's not just one or two for sure. And like Bailey pointed out, our upcoming opponent, and I agree. And as a fan, I like being the underdog myself, but I agree that Dabo likes that as well. Upcoming opponent is this Saturday at high noon is Georgia Tech. They are definitely no pushover. That's going to be, and you get into the third and fourth game of the season, you really are starting to find out who's who and that kind of thing. So no more of this. It was the first game and the jitters and all that kind of crap. Our guys are going to have to go on the road. So that's going to definitely be a test for the team.
And Clemson's basically played without their best receiver for 2 games.
Correct. Hopefully he'll be back. Yeah. Hopefully he'll be back. And, another thing, folks talk about the running back position. I'm sorry. I think Randall's doing fine.
Yeah. I mean, look, anybody, you could be the running back or I could be the running back if they create space for me to run the football.
Right.
There's 50 guys on Clemson's team that probably played running back at some time in their life.
Right.
And they're way more athletic than the two of us.
Well, I'm still waiting on Keith Adams Jr. He was the one that he pancaked somebody as a fullback against LSU. That kid can run some people over now. Anyway, but I think we're okay. Just got to keep doing what we do and settle in a little bit. I guess, hate to say, just got to settle in on the season, kind of like we did yesterday in the game.
Well, Klubnik, man, he makes some, he just gets real happy back there. His feet are always moving, but man, sometimes he throws balls that you go, wow.
Yeah. That last touchdown was a dime
over the top, but that was more impressive. About a 10, 15-yard out to the opposite sideline, boom, right in the guy's hand. Well, then I watched the Panthers play the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's why we're spoiled, because that dude can zip it, man. He made some throws today. I'm like, I remember that.
Yeah, he throws it through the tire swing every time. All right, some other games of note. Now, we'll talk about this in a second, but really the only other top 25 matchup was Oklahoma versus Michigan. Oklahoma won that one. So now everybody's saying Oklahoma's back, which maybe they are, which is great. Any thoughts on that game or any other game?
Yeah, I love Oklahoma's quarterback, John Mateer, transfer from Washington State. Mm-hmm. That dude. Now he's just an injury waiting to happen, but he can play.
Yeah,
I like guys like that. And he said yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am in his post-game interview.
Yeah. Yep, I noticed that. Our friends in Columbia pulled out after they had some delay as well, just like Georgia had some delay. They pulled out a big victory over South Carolina State. And the only thing to point out there is Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt. We only got a few comparisons, but there's trying to figure out how good a team is. We actually have a crossover there with that team, and South Carolina plays Vanderbilt Saturday. So
yeah, and South Carolina opens, and they're at home. They open up as a 5.5-point favorite, and the Tigers are a 5.5-point favorite at Georgia Tech.
At Georgia Tech,
early in the week here.
Yep. So Clemson won't be the only team. Will be week 3. It's gonna be starting to separate the men from the boys a little bit. Still a lot of football to go. Speaking of week 3 and the scheduling, Bailey, I'm going to ask how we feel about this scheduling. Okay. And I'm going to preface it with, I'm going to be a fence rider, I guess, because here's what I mean. We wait on football. We love college football. The TV, they hype it up. Here it comes. And they've scheduled, you remember, it wasn't that long ago when the first game of the season across the board for the most part was, the big schools played some little school. We started the season with the Furmans and the SC States and that kind of thing. And it was the second game before you played any other school in your conference or any other big school. Now they flip-flop that. So we get all hype. Week 1, there's all these big matchups. It was great. And then week 2 is almost like, from a fan, and not one game in particular, I'm not saying that, but from a fan aspect, looking at the schedule as a whole, you're like, this is kind of a slow week. There was one matchup between 2 top 25 teams. So is that good or?
Well, I mean, it's all about money. Come on. It's all about opening weekend. It's all about ESPN and ABC and Fox and whoever. But it puts a lot of pressure on that first game of the year. And it would also, my wife made this comment yesterday, it would give us a chance to perfect our tailgate in a season opener.
Yeah, it did. So, and like I say, to the point about it being about money, you're correct. The next step then to spread those out instead of having them all. It's like not all of them, of course, but
they're not going back.
Not going back, but I'm saying, like, instead of having all these, the TV is going to make sure, a handful of conference games happen, more than happened yesterday, and then kind of force the teams to spread out those, whatever you want to call it when you play the group of 5, whatever you call it when you the bigger schools pay somebody to come to your place and you don't have to turn around and go to their place.
A guaranteed game.
The guaranteed games.
Guarantee 1-year contracts.
So are the TVs going to start spreading that out? Maybe, maybe not. The other option is or not option, but the other potential possibility is having preseason scrimmage, which a lot of coaches want anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be beneficial. I think that would be beneficial.
Then
if they use like the pro model, they come in for a day or two, have a couple of joint practices, and then like a scrimmage, and in those joint practices, they're scrimmaging. Right. And they bring in, officials, because they bring in officials anyway.
Right.
But they bring in officials, and if you get in a fight at one of those, you get penalized. Like, you get in trouble.
Ejected.
There has to be a way to police it, because, I've coached high school football, and I've been to the scrimmage before where things got a little chippy, and the coaches told the officials to go home. They were done. Yeah.
Well, something's going to happen, and I think they'll definitely make more money having a scrimmage, preseason scrimmage. So I think that's the next step. And I don't want to say week 2 was a letdown, because like you said, Jay said, the tailgate was what it's all about. We had a great time. And I'm going to tell you who didn't have a guaranteed game yesterday, and that is the University of Florida. Southern Florida is apparently for real. They don't care about South Florida. They've already upset Boise, and now Florida.
Even though it's in Tampa.
They play Miami this coming Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
They do, and they're 16.5-point underdogs, which that's a lot of points
That's a
for a
lot of
team that
points.
just beat Florida and Boise State.
Yep. So that's we will see where that leads. Okay. All right. So fun football potential rant time. One of the matchups between some Power 4 teams, Mississippi State played Arizona State. Did you see? I mean, it's a good game. It's a close game, I guess. Arizona State was a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's I'm going to say mid-tier or low-end SEC school normally, right? Or recent history. Did you see where those cats, when Mississippi State beat Arizona State, not only did they storm the field, if you're audio only, I am showing a picture of the Mississippi State fans carrying the goalposts off the field after beating Arizona State week 2. Did you hear about that?
Had a lot to cheer about.
Look, here's all I'm going to say about that. I don't ever want to hear anybody say anything about Clemson's tradition of going out on the field. We've been doing that since I was 4 years, and before I was 4 years old. We don't storm a field with what we do. And this SEC school is going to go out there and tear the goalpost down in week 2 after beating Arizona State. So zip it. If anybody has anything to say about what we do in the Valley, zip it. And then while I'm ranting, last week, so we got moved to lot 10, right? Here's a picture of us walking to the game last week. There's no tailgate going on at our old space.
Right.
There's just a car sitting there.
So sad.
There's no fun. There's no fans. It's just a car in a parking space. But guess what, Bailey? It got worse this week.
There wasn't even a car there.
They didn't even show up. If you're not going to show up in our parking space, give us the space back. I don't know who you are. Word has it you have something to do with Coca-Cola.
It's the Coca-Cola guy that drives that van. It's his wife.
That's our space. If you're not going to use it,
so that's a work van. That dude's there working, and his wife has a pass just to come if she wants to come, and they gave them primo parking spots.
Well, guess what else is primo? Pepsi.
James is now. Well, actually, you are a Pepsi guy anyway.
I am a Pepsi guy. But seriously, it's kind of sad. I mean, seriously, you pay your money, you get your spaces, whatever. There were a bunch of spaces empty. And this was when the weather was good. They weren't even calling for rain, really. I had a friend, somebody we've had on the podcast before, made a post about how empty lot 6 and lot 5 was, and all these comments about how things have happened where, money takes over and the people don't. They just don't come. You know how it is. You look over there in the West End Zone.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. But bless their hearts is what we say here in the South when it comes to stuff like that. Feel free to give up the space, which we got it going on now. We're not that far away. And look at that. Look at all that space.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When they finish this parking garage, and we have a great idea, Clemson, if you're listening,
please listen.
There needs to be a box you check off when you do your parking for next year. Are you planning to tailgate? Check yes or no. If no, your spot will be in a parking garage.
Poof.
Yeah. We will not take quality tailgating spots away from people who do not use them.
Right. So, yeah.
Hopefully somebody, Graham Neff, did you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Neff. You know what should happen?
Welcome to come on here anytime.
You know what? You know what should happen to people that take up spots and don't tailgate? They should run sprints after the game like the Syracuse Orange. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
My man. Straight old school, right there on the field.
He was mad.
And they won, right?
Yeah, I've done. Hey, look. Been there, done. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I know we're 29 minutes in. When I was in high school, we got beat by a team that should have never beaten us in basketball. And we literally had 3 minutes to go put our practice uniform on, and we practiced from the minute the dance started in the room next door to the lights came on at midnight. We practiced. And you know what? Nobody's mom or dad called coach about
Isn't
it.
that something?
Yeah.
And
It
y'all
was
all survived.
incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. My story on that is we're playing in Rock Hill Jamboree now, where you play like one quarter, right?
Yeah.
And we did so bad. Our football stadium was not on site when I was in high school. Coach Carroll, the legendary Gil Carroll, we drove the buses straight to the stadium. We didn't even go to the school. And we got off, and he told everybody to put their pads back on. They turned the lights on, and we didn't practice. We just did holy rollers for 30 minutes or so because of how we played.
Where was the stadium in Chester if it wasn't at the school?
Well, it's in an area they call the fairgrounds, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. But so that stadium at the school is newer than you are?
It is newer than I am, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
It was built while we were at Clemson.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's that. So yeah, a little old school going on up there.
I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Feel informed about tailgating, and I hope nobody makes you run sprints after work or anything tomorrow. Thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media, and please share. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, Jay Thriller Entertainment, Greenville Sports Media, and Bailey Jackson.
Go Tigers. We out of here.
Go Tigers.